Hey, welcome back to Trinity in 20 here at Trinity English. It's good to be with you this week. As we're talking, I have together with me the other three pastors that work here at Trinity that are part of our pastoral team, Pastor Judy Follis, Pastor Christina Perkins, Pastor Jeremy Russell. And you see us on Sunday, you see us around at different times, and sometimes sitting in the pews, sometimes helping here either preaching or celebrant or doing those sorts of things. But all four of us are here working together. We try to work together as a team. I mean, we sit and we tell ourselves we're a team, and just doing our work both for you and with you here in the congregation. But we wanted to be able to introduce and make certain that all of you have the opportunity to see all of us and hear a little bit from us. So, you know what I do. Kind of. But what do you all do?
Well, I'm the visitation pastor for the congregation. I have the joy of visiting those who cannot normally get out, and I have the great joy of hearing their stories. What a marvelous history and tradition of this congregation. These folks still love their church so much. And I never tire of their stories and their sense of humor and their love for Jesus. So it's a joy to visit them. I just have a really good time, pastors.
Good.
My name is Judy Follis. I was introduced, and I am a visitation pastor as well. And I visit the folks who live south of the church, and I visit them in their nursing homes as well as in their homes. I like to visit with them for a while, and then I offer them communion, which they are privileged to participate in, and I've been told that it makes them feel connected to the church, which is a joy. We try to value them, and I usually dress up in my clerical clothing so that they feel that this is an important time for them. And they truly enjoy being visited. I also try to visit them about once a month.
Mm-hmm. Thank you, Judy. And I somehow work to coordinate, especially these two and our various lay ministries. We work with the deaconesses and with the Eucharistic ministers as everyone collaborates together to provide pastoral care throughout our community. And we meet regularly to talk about how things are going with the visitations, and thankfully our lay ministers, the Eucharistic ministers and the deaconesses give us information when someone needs a pastoral visit or if something else is going on, and it's timely. It helps us to constantly be in community with our entire parish, and I'm honored to work with the three of you all.
Yeah, it's great to have all of us together. And one of the blessings of being here at Trinity, at least for me, is that all three of us, and Trinity has a long tradition of multiple ordained clergy on staff. And the blessing of that is that there's a variety of opinions. You all are gentle enough not to argue with me too often, but when we're together, we meet together on Tuesdays to try to coordinate our work and our ministry together. And you're generally not saying too often that I'm a dunce, but every now and again you're looking around the table like, ooh, right?
Well, this was my idea, and they're still angry with me about it.
But, we represent, this is kind of a weird number, more than 100 years of experience, but to be able to share that, but to be able to share all of that with this parish, and those experiences.
One of the joys that I encounter with people I visit is the live stream, and most of them watch it. And they look for me in my bald head, so it's hard for me to play hooky on Sunday, because they look, where were you, Pastor? So it's kind of fun, right, Judy?
Yeah, right. They always look to see where we are.
It's great fun. Yeah.
Oh, you have a good-looking husband.
I don't hear that.
Well, and Pastor Perkins, you bring a unique set of experiences and talents that, in many ways, hasn't been present in our life together here. You have background and experience with counseling, counseling ministries, and that sort of thing. And we haven't really completely mobilized that. But I'm looking forward to those things that you bring in terms of how we better meet the needs, emotional, psychological needs of people in this parish.
Yeah.
I find our mental health is and should be a priority as individuals, but also as a parish. And although none of us are practitioners, we have skills and experience, and we also know where to access resources when we're above or below, we're beyond what we can do, but we can walk with our people as we're going to seek and find more mental health for ourselves.
Yeah. Do you have, and this isn't to put you on the spot, but but it kind of does put you on the spot. I recognize some sense of how we could expand our care for one another and care within this broader community, both for the people who are part of this, but also part of our greater Fort Wayne community, what kind of things we could do here at Trinity to help that wide range of things that we've come to call mental health, but which covers a whole gamut of possibilities.
I have many, many dreams, and a lot of that has to do with parish or community, and that's community support. I'm praying and hoping and connecting with some people about trying to find some support opportunities. So we have our grief ministry, and that's a group that carries on for a number of weeks, and then a new group comes in. But there are other support for parents, and support for individuals who are going through other forms of loss and grief. But I really hope that we can build that community, bringing one another together, people in our parish and around our parish, to come and support one another. I believe it's a biblical example of what the church is called to do and has been doing for almost 2,000 years. And so my main priority is really to find more ways to set up some support groups.
Yeah.
Well said.
I would mention that Pastor Jeremy at our meeting mentioned how important our visitation is to the adult children of the folks that we visit.
Yes.
And that is very important. And I was visiting on Tuesday, and I don't know if it was a doctor who was present in the memory care facility at Coventry Meadows, or perhaps an RN or floor nurse, but she welcomed me into the place and asked me who I was visiting. And then when I left, she saw me to the door and thanked me over and over for visiting them. And so representing Trinity, that's such an important ministry, and people are noticing that we are showing up regularly.
So when I visit, the whole team, in a sense, is visiting. All four of us are making the visit,
That's
not just me.
Yes. Yeah.
It's
Well,
all
and
of us.
also, actually, the whole parish,
Absolutely.
right? You know, all four of
Absolutely.
us represent
The folks
all
that-
of you who are we're an extension of
Exactly.
your ministry, and in the same way that they're an extension of our ministry, that
Yeah.
we don't, in an ideal sense, we don't do this work in a vacuum. We don't do it, and I think all four of us would share, we don't do it to people.
No.
Right, we do it with one another, with this community, which means this parish community, but with this whole broad community.
But we bring Jesus and then all of Trinity to the meeting, as well as the pastoral care.
Correct. And, and I know part of the thing Pastor Perkins wants to work at, how do we involve the lives of this parish, that we're not hired hands as much as, again, extensions of your ministry, your extensions of this collaborative ministry that we do together, that we provide support, care, pastoral insight to the work of this whole place. And become a visible sign of that, but together with you.
Exactly.
While at the same time, I think we also honor the ministry of these people that we visited. The ministry that they had over so many, many years, that we're honoring that and keeping them in our hearts, and honoring the ministry that they did when they were younger. and they appreciate that as well. They
Indeed.
love to tell us how involved that they were in the congregation.
That
Yeah.
they are not forgotten because they're not present on Sunday. For some of them, we remind them, you're not forgotten. You're
Right.
still part of the community.
That's exactly
You're a
right.
vital part of the community.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And we're finding opportunities to include those members in various ways so that they will know that their vital part of the community is not over. Their ministry is not finished.
Exactly.
They are sharing the light of Christ with us and where they're at, and we're finding opportunities for them to connect with other individuals, and we're looking for those opportunities
Yeah.
because our service never ends.
Yeah.
And we have
Right.
Eucharistic ministers who are also meeting with them through the month, so they not only get a call to set up our visit, but they also get a visit from the Eucharistic minister as well who's visiting them.
Yes. The other week, I was sharing with the Eucharistic ministers how people that work at the facilities see our service and they see us coming, and how we are constantly serving and showing that love. Our presence is ministering to everybody, and it also ministers to those who are doing the service.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. You know, and to say, whoever you are, if you, as you're watching this, and if you happen to be at home, we are serious about trying to say that we both recognize that there's moments when any of us have needs that inhibit us from maybe doing active ministry, but we also want to say that just because you're old or you're retired or you're aged, that doesn't exclude you from ministry. You don't suddenly become simply a ministry recipient, but a participant again. And in our work, we hope, is how do we help devise and think and imagine what that ministry could look like. When we're out of imagination, how do we imagine? You know, and I know Pastor Perkins is trying to imagine, you know, what can that be? And that can be as simple as, can you pray for, you know, we have 6 families in our congregation that have teenagers. We have more than that, but we know that they're struggling. Can you just pray, you know, and remember them? Can you send a card? Can you know, that sense of community is expanded by wrapping us together in a reminder that our lives are not at a point where we stop being participants in God's ministry in this place.
I had brought up this week to one of the women that I visit that we had this wonderful baptism on All Saints Sunday, I believe it was, and that would you consider sending a greeting card to these families and welcome them to this community of faith? And so she's considering it, doing that ministry.
Yeah, and to help people know the impact that makes in our broader community.
Yeah.
And that you can, I mean, whoever you are, you can do that, but especially some of our friends who might be homebound.
Right.
Yeah. It's good to be together with you all.
Thank you.
It's good to be together with you all. It's good to have you here. It's good to be in ministry with you. I hope that if you have not taken the opportunity, that when you see Pastor Follis, Pastor Perkins, Pastor Russell here in the parish, feel free to, on Sunday morning, if they're not, even if they're up here, but afterwards, take a moment to greet them, to pester them, to give them suggestions, to notice how I use the word them.
All complaints go this way.
Thanks,
You're
Fred.
welcome. Anytime, Pastor.
But take the opportunity to help us engage in ministry with you, to engage with ministry with each other in this parish and in this broader community. It's good to be with you. We share that together. It's good to be with you, and God's peace be with you through this week that is ahead of us.
Peace.